In this episode, we take a look at the most deceptive of all robots in the galaxy,
The Decepticons.
Stay tuned. Hi, welcome to my side of the laundry room. My name's Rob,
And I'm Chris.
and this week we're going to look at the villainous Decepticons. Yeah, kind of hard, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It really was. I had a shit ton of Autobots.
Yeah.
I don't think I had that many Decepticons. And even the iconic one was one of the worst ones.
Yeah.
Megatron was a terrible toy.
It was.
Terrible toy.
But the thing is, there were actually...
better ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Browning, the character Browning is a much better gun.
Shockwave. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But they still... Browning also suffered from trigger crotch syndrome, but
That is true.
he didn't look as wonky.
No,
with,
he
like,
didn't.
The
I agree
barrel
with that.
coming out here and whatever. But anyway... Yeah. You get to a certain time period, and it dropped off the deep end.
Yeah. The Predacons, the up my assacons, whatever the fuck it was. I mean, there was...
But that is the funniest thing. I mean, so many combiners.
Yeah, they did. Well.
So many. Autobots didn't have that many. I mean, Christ, it was a huge thing when the aerial bots, they had to
That's
fly
true.
to Cybertron to get them made. And they were all, other cats that were in the Matrix, their souls put in, where it's like, whoa, I used to deliver mail. My name's whatever. It's like...
Mail sack.
Anyway.
Yeah. Moving
But
right
yeah,
along.
in the earlier years were very iconic
Yes.
Decepticons.
Yes.
And then
And what you realize, like with the cartoons, is so many of those iconic Decepticons were cassettes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Ravage is iconic. Rumble's iconic. Those guys are, you know what I mean?
Laserbeak, yeah.
Laserbeak, right. You know what I mean? And it was just...
But those characters sailed throughout the entire series.
That they did.
For the most part.
That they did.
The Autobots seem to change up every couple months when a new wave was being hit. Yeah. Where you're like, what happened to... Yeah, and it's new guy.
I just got this guy. Why is he on a cartoon anymore?
Exactly.
But anyway.
Yeah. So let's start.
Yes,
Your
absolutely.
number one pick of best Decepticon.
My favorite, and it goes back to the Megatron failures but anyway, Shockwave. It was a freaking awesome toy. His face with the single dot, the little ears that popped up, the two sound effects, the silencer that came off, his right hand was gun or left, whatever it was. But and when you hit it, the gun lit up. Everything about this toy was cool. And really,
color.
and the purple with the silver
And the Radio Shack version, which was silver.
that's right.
Which I think was a cool.
But it was such a high playability toy because it was an awesome robot and it was an awesome gun. So you could honestly play with it as a boat.
Yeah, and he had a sight. Sorry, I
Yes,
just remembered
he
that.
did. It was awesome.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a great toy. It was a fantastic toy. Hours of fun. It was also one of the first Decepticons I got. So it also has a kind of a special meaning. And I still have it to this day. It's one of the few toys.
Word?
Yes, I do. And it
Nice.
still works well, I might add.
Sweet.
And I actually take the batteries out, clean it quite frequently so they don't go to shit. But I still,
That's
anyway.
so awesome.
But it's it is because I don't have many toys that I actually owned when I was a child.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
No, that
You know what I
does.
mean?
That does.
So,
one of the things cool about him
I
as
don't have the
well.
silencer anymore.
Oh, the silver part that went on there.
Nah, it's gone. You know, so and so is the flip top. It's gone too. So.
Anyway, it's still awesome.
Yeah,
You can still
I'm
present him
happy.
in his robotic
yeah.
form.
Which he, yeah.
But one of the things that jumps out at me about the memory of him is how large the Decepticon symbol sticker was on his chest. Bigger than any
one of the
others.
other ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course, it was that foil that eventually would peel away. Yeah, but very iconic.
No,
Very
I love
awesome.
him. He's one of my favorites.
Should have been in the cartoon more, but he had a great supporting.
And the way they
role.
did him was awesome. You know, he was basically holding down the fort for the Decepticons. But you know, anyway, so.
Which, when you think about it, he's just hanging out there for millions of years.
Well, that's depressing.
Yeah. When you really think about, they crash landed during prehistoric time. Yeah. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Sorry.
Ooh, that got dark.
Yeah, they did. They did. Anyway.
My number one.
Yes, absolutely.
Is similar in name, but Soundwave.
How could you not?
I have to say, I mean, our numbering
Decepticon.
doesn't really have anything to do with our choices,
Nope.
but he is probably my favorite Transformer of all time.
How can he not be?
I mean,
He was awesome. He was everything in the cartoon. He was everything in the comics.
yes.
And I mean, you know, if you need Energon cubes, who's generating them for you? Soundwave. You know what I mean? We got to go have reconnaissance. Who's going to Soundwave? Okay, it's
What did he originally turn into Cybertron? Like a street light? I mean, that was weird. Most things transferred over, but it's like, we get to Earth and I want to be a tape deck.
anything's better than a Cybertronian
Exactly.
streetlight.
Because he's just there hanging out, and all of a sudden it's like, look, there they go.
But he was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, the guns were the batteries, which I didn't know at the time that I owned the toy.
Me neither. I
But-
would have never thought that.
No, I
but the
wouldn't.
thing is, in Japan, he was a real working
Robot. All right, radio. Yeah.
And the toy, I mean, it had a movable like little switch here and little dials.
And the eject button and all that. Yeah.
And he came with headphones and stuff in Japan. I think we kind of got ripped off, honestly. But
It's the same thing with Voltron. We got screwed on that.
Well,
Anyway.
anyway.
Yeah, that's. But no, he was the coolest character, though. He was. The only thing that made me upset was in the cartoon. He could put like 37 tapes in him, and the toy. Yeah, he's like, here's Rumble, here's Jazz. Here's
let's all party.
I mean, he was half of the Decepticons in one bot.
at least for the first few episodes.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
great toy.
Thank you.
One of the best toys, honestly.
And I still have mine.
Yeah, I don't. But speaking of great toys, I would say I was probably 9 or 10, and I know that my father bought this because my mother would have never bought it. She wouldn't have. She just flat out would not have done it. For my birthday one year, it was pretty much all I got. Maybe some shirts or something, you know, that kind of birthday, you know, yeah, exactly.
Polo
right?
shirts
Yeah,
or some
something
crap, yeah.
right. So it was a gift set of all the Constructicons.
Oh.
And I'm saying all the Constructicons is my second favorite Decepticon here because they were almost like one entity. You know what I mean? Because it was always Devastator, and whatever the episodes were, you know, somehow, some way you were going to get Devastator, you know? And I just loved it. It was just, and I can tell you, I did not play with them individually very often. It was usually as Devastator sitting on top of my TV or jumping off and whatever.
That's cool.
Color scheme was fantastic. Yes. Everything that came with it to make Devastator, the arm pieces and all that, you know, it was just a cool, and it was like, I know we had Voltron and I know we had all these, but that was like the first of obviously what started to be a trend that lasted forever in Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
But it was so cool. It was the first. It was iconic, but it was also all the construction vehicles worked. So the dozer had, you know, picked up the front,
cool.
and then the track hoe would pull. You know what I mean? It was they were great individual toys. But it was just so cool. And like I said, I got the gift set. I mean, it was one of the few big whatever Transformers that you had. But not only that, the cool thing is now Jetfire had someone to fight.
True.
Because scale-wise, they were very similar.
Very true.
You know what I
Very
mean?
true.
So, but it's one of my favorites. I have none of them.
I never had it, so
I don't have any of them. Not a one. Not a one's left. I don't, what happened to them. I couldn't tell you, but
remember what I said about Jetfire
Good
in the
point.
last episode?
Good point.
Yeah, that same store had that.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yeah. Same price.
Really?
You actually get more for your money that way, but yeah.
It's good rationale. Really, if you're going to go drop that kind of money.
Yeah.
Anyway, your next one.
My next one goes with the theme of Soundwave, but Ravage. Ravage in general.
It was awesome.
I mean, hands down awesome. He's a Panther.
Mm-hmm. Color scheme was great. Cartoon sold this character.
Yes.
The 2 rockets on the side. Everything was awesome about that. Awesome.
And speaking of the cartoon, how he's an intelligent being, but he's just What is it, Ravage? Good point. Okay. Yeah. But again, it was one I never had. I mean, I saw them in the store, but it was never
Oh, no.
my parents, yeah.
Well, what was it? 2 tapes, right? When you bought them? It was like Laserbeak and Ravage and Rumble and Frenzy or whatever it was. Weren't they together in this? I don't think you bought them individually.
No,
or
I
Laserbeak
think
came with Soundwave, right?
No, that was Buzzsaw. Oh. Which is messed up because you would
Yeah, he got no play.
No. He never did.
No.
But, I mean, no, I think it was... Were the 2 humanoid ones together, or was it packaged Ravage and Rumble and...
Frenzy and Laserbeak.
I can't even remember.
I can't either, but I remember they were like $9-10. Because you got 2 of them, and it was like the mini-cons were like $3 or $4.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which, I never seemed to have whatever
Yeah.
money to get tapes. You know what I mean? I had Soundwave.
Same here, and just Buzzsaw.
Buzzsaw. That was it. I never had any of the other ones.
Me neither.
And I'll tell you what pissed me off. Well, no, I don't want to steal your thunder in case he's on your list. I don't want to do that.
I don't know, but go ahead. I'm intrigued.
So, remember Rumble?
Yeah.
What the fuck with the figure?
Why it didn't come with the big...
Yeah! I mean, it
pneumatic
seemed like a
boom, boom, boom.
wasted...
I mean, recent,
yes, but I'm saying when we were kids,
Yes.
we didn't have it. He looked like a regular damn robot that held a gun. Just saying.
You know what was awesome about him?
Go ahead.
How... Here's Spike like, help, help! And he was, go toe-to-toe with him. And he is such a little smartass.
Yeah.
Great character.
Great voice.
Yeah.
Great voice, great character, but yet again.
And
but
a great drummer for Cybertronic Spree. But anyway.
Check them out.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Sorry, I did not mean to
No,
go on that
he
tangent.
is not on my list, unfortunately. If the list
So there's a freebie, there's a gimme.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome, My Side of the Laundry Room.
That's a 2.5.
2.5
on my list. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Now, this one's on my list more or less because he had a cool transformation, and I owned him, okay? But he was a WTF character from the start.
Okay.
Surge.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, this was a cool robot look, okay? But he turned into a flying boat thing. And I never understood that. Because I always thought in Transformers the movie, they all got fucked. Because it was like, you get to become Galvatron, you get to become Cyclonus, and all you other fuckheads become Surges. You're going to be boat planes or whatever the fuck you are. It was like it was the biggest, like, did somebody's arm fall asleep while they were drawing? It's like, it's a boat.
Especially coming from the most omni-powerful Galactus-like
I mean,
character.
It was like...
And it's like, no imagination. No imagination.
But I mean, but it was a cool toy. That's the thing that sucked about it. You know what I mean? It was a cool...
I don't know.
It was...
I take your word for it.
It was the peg warmer of the Transformers, which is why I got
Understood.
him. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, I just... And I remember watching Transformers the movie, because recently, like within the last 2 years, it got released on iTunes and Amazon and whatever. So I downloaded it because I can't help myself. You know what I mean? And I watched it and I'm like...
I tried to keep my kids away from it. My son finally discovered it in my collection.
Did you have the talk?
We had to talk.
Transformers the movie.
But I think what's worse, and this has kind of bit us in the buttocks, but I had the uncut version.
Uh-oh.
So you have Spike going, holy shit, or whatever it is. So there, yeah. My daughter's like, shit. Like,
Well, at least your kids learned it from Spike. Mine learned it from their dad. So, you know.
yeah.
You got that going for you.
Yeah.
But because of our curse jar, both kids are going to college.
No, sweet.
Anyway, but I loved the toy. I did. I loved it, but it was just a kind of shitty. You know, you can see a list of the worst Transformers, and you can see him on it. You know what I mean?
But what was cool in the cartoon, how he had a beard.
Yes! Yes, absolutely. Your next one.
That had a lot of personality when they drew him.
It did.
My next is part of a group, which I love them all.
Okay.
But the Insecticons, but Kickback, out of all of them, stood out more to me.
But not only that, what was cool about Kickback, and it was part of that, was it the first three? The Insecticons, right? It was like the Beetle, the Grasshopper, and... Right? It was three of them. They were all purple and black.
Yes, and I have them. Why am I totally drawing a blank?
Anyway.
Which came in that box.
Which came in that... Right.
Cast-offs that I was talking about. But...
The cool thing about it is those were really, really cool. The first three.
Yes.
And the color scheme on them was awesome. And they all matched each other, kind of like how the Dinobots did in the first generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was neat because Kickback, they were all easy to transform. You know what I mean? As far as like their feature or what have you. But I really liked the first set because after that it went to shit. It went to Dayglow green and tan and brown, and stuff like that. But, but those first ones with the Beetle, the Grasshopper, and whatever the third one was.
God, that's disturbing me.
But they were awesome because the faces were clean. You know, you could tell exactly the robot forms and stuff like that. And they were actually kind of movable. Yeah. You know what I mean? They were nice toys.
And they had
was
wheels.
Awesome. Yeah.
Which is weird. And in the cartoon, they handled it really weird because it's like Insecticons, and then a million of them would show up. Like they didn't really have personalities.
No, they were just.
Own.
They were drone mentality almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they ate other robots. Yeah.
They ate metal.
They ate metal.
It was like a pestilence. They just came in and ate everything.
Kind of meta, really, if you think about it, because they're metal, right? Because they're.
Kinda.
I mean, isn't it creepy?
That's disturbing. Yeah.
It's like cannibal Transformers, in a way. Think about that. Great toy, though. Great toy. Great toy.
Yeah. Next on your list.
Astro Train.
Ah, okay.
I liked. There was two triple changers that first came out. It was Astro Train and Blitzwing. That was the other one. And it seemed like, at least growing up, everyone had Blitzwing. The tank jet combo.
Yeah.
And I just thought Astro Train was a lot cooler. Until my father said it looked like a gas pump when it was standing upright. That's my father. But I love the fact that he was a train and a shuttle.
Yeah, two entirely different
Yes,
things.
exactly. And it was a great toy. It was easy to transform, and it had a lot of neat little features. But what was cool, and looking back at it, yet again, it's kind of creepy. But what was cool is anytime they needed to get the fuck out of somewhere, it was like Astro Train, and then he's a train or he's a
space shuttle.
Space shuttle. Transformers the movie, right? He's
Megatron's sick. Kick him out.
I'm too heavy. So, but it was cool. I just wish he was bigger.
Yeah.
Because he was a medium-sized Transformer. He wasn't really super big. And it would have been cool to be like an Omega Supreme size Astro
Like the
Train.
new ones that just came out. I mean, he's about yay big.
That would have been, you know what I mean, kind of more size comparison to some of the other Transformers at the time. But I loved him. He was cool. And I liked the fact that it was a triple changer. That blew my mind at the time. You know what I mean? When
Triple Changers first started, they were well thought out. But then later they just got lazy. Like, here's a 10 changer. He can turn into a battle platform. He can turn into a gun, a lion.
Yeah.
And they all just looked clunky,
Forced.
and nasty. Yeah.
Forced.
Very forced.
Yeah. But Astro Train was a great toy, and it's one of the ones I wish I still had, yet again. Really do.
Very cool.
Your next one.
I have to admit, before I start, that half of what you said I didn't hear because I'm still trying to figure out the goddamn bug. Anyway, number 4 on my list, Thrust.
He was a second generation plane, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The jets, the first ones,
Were just repaints of the same fucking toy.
yes, and so were the second wave of them as well. Ramjet, Thrust, and
Well,
I
Thrust
forget.
looked more like a Harrier. He had the
Yes, they
you know
had
what I mean?
they had turbines on the wings, but there was just, again, color, burgundy,
yeah.
with the black
Yep.
highlights. It worked. It clicked. Just like the original jets, you had to take his wings off, and attach them to the back, and he had arms. The hands were added on later, and
I wonder why they never adopted the Jetfire. And this is kind of semi-rhetorical because it really didn't hit the fan during this era.
right.
Okay? Why they didn't adopt the Jetfire way of transforming for some of the other jets. You know what I mean?
I don't know, and I think
I don't understand why, because they literally milked that design through 2 generations.
they
You know what I
did.
mean?
And I think it has a lot to do, maybe, with what I was saying, possibly, that originally in Japan, people were more
Interested
they wanted the
in the
vehicle
more than the robot.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Because they were great interpretations of like F-16s, F-15s, whatever series they were supposed to be. But
No, you're right. They were. All of them were cool.
they could have even have done something like remove the nose cone and it'd be a MiG. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They could have done
Yeah.
things like that, but
Well, it
they
goes
didn't.
back to, yet again, why didn't SR-71s and, other planes that
Yeah.
were, available at the time, why didn't you do a Warthog? You know what I mean? Why didn't you do whatever? We can go on and on and on.
yeah.
But I agree. It had to be because of molds from the more interested in the Harrier jet than Thrust the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but one of the best paint schemes of any of the jets, that dark ruby red.
Yes. And like I said, it's the same color as Power Glide in our Autobots episode.
Yeah.
Which
Yep.
it just stood out.
Mm-hmm. Well, wouldn't Paraglide a Warthog?
Yeah,
Might have
he
been.
would be.
Yeah.
He would be, because
you
part of
see,
his
yet again.
transformation is wing.
Why wouldn't you make that
Would-
bigger,
could-
though? That was a prime example. He could have been a bigger...
Exactly the same transformation,
right.
which wasn't the best, but it wasn't hateful. Because it was one of the ones where it's like, he just stands up and there's his face.
Eh.
And the wings go down.
Oh, he
and-
go-botted it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he
Anyway.
had personality that the GoBots didn't have. No offense to GoBot fans.
All 5 of you.
No, I mean, they have their nostalgia, and
Finish that sentence, please.
I won't finish that sentence, but I'll add it to, if I still had Psykill, I would display him.
All right, fair. Can't argue that. Can't argue that. That is true. All right. My last one is, because believe it or not, this was actually a fun toy to own. I had Gnaw,
Ah,
the
okay.
Sharkticon.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And I don't know why, but it was like neat. It was big. It was bulky. You know what I mean? And his scale wasn't hugely. You know what I mean? So I actually he threw down with the He-Mans, and he threw down with the G.I. Joes because of his size. And
That's
he was
cool.
kind of like, and he came with like the whip mace thing. You know what I mean?
He's just a cool creature.
He was a cool creature, and he definitely fought for Cobra a lot.
Paint scheme works.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how I justified that purchase. He was also a peg warmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were really heavy-handed going into the movie. This is going to be a blockbuster. Put out them toys. And anyway. Yeah.
the only thing that really disappoints me is some of these iconic characters. You know, we all have those moments in movies when you first heard that, you know, Transformers the movie is going to get made.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I always thought that they did the best justice to Optimus of all of the characters. You know what I mean? I thought he's, you know, his big screen debut, whatever.
Yes.
The one that disappointed me the most, and I know you're going to agree with me, is Devastator was awesome, right? As a cartoon character in the comics, he was cool. The toy was cool. In the movie, they fucking blew it. They blew it. He was just he ate a pyramid. That was his claim to fame, for lack of a better purpose. But, you know, this would have been such a cool opportunity to some of the characters, you know what I mean? Even Shockwave, I thought they did really well in the movies with the, you know what I mean? But
I mean, but when Devastator appeared at Autobot City, I mean, he alone was laying siege until Optimus showed up. Just saying.
I'm just saying, you know, would it have killed you to give him a little fucking green?
Well,
just saying, there was very little. It was like 3 robots came together and it was a mindless drone for all intents and purposes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it was the Frankenstein of construction equipment or whatever. Anyway,
side note, the game Transformers Devastation,
okay,
he's a big villain in it and he gets his play.
We should be. Should be. He's a boss, right? He's being treated as one. Yeah. So, yet again, this is our top 10.
Well, I didn't give mine number 5.
You're right. Right. I put the cart in front of the horse. Go ahead, my friend.
Well, since I already brought it up, or build it up, it ain't gonna. But back to the cassettes. Yet another one I didn't have, but Rat Bat.
That was a later release.
Yeah, his second wave of tapes. But something.
Who else was in that? That was Rat Bat, and was there like a Rhino or something like that?
That was Blasters, Ram.
Oh, okay. My bad.
And then later they did tapes that joined together. Combined, of course. There was like a ape and an eagle, and they became a flying ape or whatever. I mean, I can't remember the other ones that were in that wave. But for him, it just... He appeared in the cartoon briefly, but he looked cool. Like a hog-nosed bat. Very cool. The toy, so simple, yet effective, with the big wingspan. You know...
Because he did a double pull, right? When you
it was like hinged and then hinged again.
Yep.
Yet again, one I didn't have, but...
No, I didn't have it either, but I remember, you know what I mean? And that was towards like the end of... Right, that
middle
86, 87 run, somewhere in there.
Somewhere
right?
in there, yes. Yeah. It was the end of the innovation period, not to...
Well, at that point, the car is pulling away.
Yes.
So it's left to the designers to figure it out. Right?
Yes.
Basically. But no, that was one of the better ones. And that's the funny thing is you look through like the collections of these, you can see the ones, I think at least, where there was more effort put into some of them, and there wasn't enough put into others.
Well, the thing is that effort came from the originators, Takara. And
I'm saying those later releases when Takara had left, you could see where some of them there was like actually like that Decepticon pickup truck or not pickup truck, semi. The Decepticon semi, he was the center of one of the...
Menasor.
I thought that was
his combination. But,
but I thought that was a Motor Master. That's what I was trying to think of. But that was actually like kind of a cool toy. You know what I mean?
I'll give you that.
You know, some of them were just cooler than other ones.
Maybe it came down to price point where they're like, these are going to be our big money ones. Right. Work on them. The other ones, they're shit. Don't worry about them. Maybe. Because,
well, there was always a price difference between, with Transformers. You always had the 6 to 10 or whatever it was, and then you had your $15, your $20, and on up. You know, and the thing was, and I think a lot of us learned, they came out with the combiners where, the Devastator platform, after Devastator, it seemed like every generation had one. The Protectobots, the Aerial Bots, the whatever it was, the bots.
Predacate.
Yeah, right. Eventually, you would try to buy them separately and build the thing yourself. But after getting burned like once or twice and realizing, yeah, just wait until Christmas, there'll be a gift set out. You know, I never had any of them, but I remember like my cousin who was 4 years younger than me, he actually had a couple of, I think he had the Aerial Bots one, which was cool. They were cool. Actually, Aerial Bots one was very cool because that actually had some real articulation when it was put together. But anyway.
Those are top 10
Absolutely.
Decepticons.
Even though I tried to cut it short.
That's okay. It happens. Like I said it.
Like anything, guys, tell us. Tell us, what did we miss? Was there somebody...
Speaking of what we missed, grab that book for me. I gotta answer this right now. Before everyone tells me what I missed.
To the man behind the... Well, we're going to correct this in video? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
We're not waiting
because
for
it's
someone
driving
to...
me nuts.
Okay, but somebody's probably already commented by the time you find this.
That's fine.
And they're going to say, hey, Rob, you dumbass.
For some reason, Bombshell and Shrapnel were amalgamated in my mind. Because they're both beetles. One's like a bombardier beetle, and the other's just like a...
scarab.
Yeah. Or dung beetle.
Beetle.
But, my bad. For some reason in my mind, they were just blending together when I was thinking about...
Yeah, me too,
because
actually.
What I was remembering was the legs that flip out with the wheels. So,
Hey, and speaking of which, does anybody know why the fuck they had wheels? Was this some sort of...
to save our parents' linoleum floor from getting scratched up?
But I'm saying, I'm wondering what the original intent of those was in Japan when they were brought over here.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
But they had cockpits, so they were probably...
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
part
of
the
Diclone line or whatever. Because
Diaclone, right?
Yeah.
Diaclone.
However you pronounce it, because they had little dudes that would go in there.
Like Grimlock.
Yeah.
He had the...
But anyway, my bad. It was...
Somebody's already commented.
Wrecking my psyche.
It's already too late. It's too late.
Damn!
Somebody's going to tell you how much they were, too.
Yeah.
I know. Anyway, tell us who we forgot. Add some favorites, iconic ones. Defend Megatron, please, somebody.
I mean, the character's cool.
Oh,
the toy.
Awesome. Toy sucks. But some of the later releases, as we said, that's a great thing about some of the later releases with all the Transformers. So from the Autobots to this one, you know, some of these newer ones that have come out are really awesome. And
they have a great price point for the care and imagination that has gone into them.
And I'm going to tell you, when you spend $30 or $40 on a Transformer now, that is one awesome fucking Transformer.
It is. Like, there is a line... There's 3 of them jump to mind. It's an Optimus, a Rodimus, and, like, an evil Rodimus that's black. I don't know where that comes from. I mean, please fill me in if that's a comic thing, a new cartoon thing. He has, like, a mustache and everything. But what's cool about him is, like, with Optimus, you got your huge Optimus, but inside of it is, what is it, Paxus or Orion, whatever, his original form before he became the leader.
Yeah, I got you.
So you got that to play with, and then the rest clips on him and he becomes Monster Optimus. Rodimus, of course, that's a change that we saw. Hot Rod to Rodimus Prime. So those are fantastic toys. $50 a piece, but worth it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why the Black Series are $20. You know, and the regular Star Wars figures are $8 or $9 or whatever. I mean, it's a better toy. No, but I'm saying it's a better toy. You know what I mean?
It is.
And that place...
It just goes into the discussion of action figures have gotten out of control.
Well, I agree with that. We've had that conversation. But
you don't...
Don't. That's another episode.
Away.
That's another episode. That is another episode of What's Wrong with Action Figures. Anyway, this was the top 10 Decepticons. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Tell us what we missed.
Please
defend guys that we're forgetting. And tell
Forgive
us
me about the Insecticons. I'm sorry.
And tell us about the later Transformers, like those ones from the 90s where it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If there's that fan base out there, let us know. You know what I mean? There was. You know, what was it, Stealth Bomber Megatron comes to mind, or whatever it was.
Yeah, something like that.
So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. All the soapbox and everything.
So, keep being rad.
Stay dorky.
We'll catch you next time. Peace out. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button for some more awesome videos. We also have a couple here on the side you might be interested in. And until next time, thanks for watching, keep being rad, and stay dorky.